do with myself, man. Jevil, Spampton, freaking the Roaring Knight, freaking Sands, Pacifist Sands. I swear, Toby Fox's secret boss is giving me a problem. Yak, 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 yak. What the fuck, you talking turtle, bro? Hey, Sonny, you know what I've noticed about you? I notice you treat every Toby Fox boss like it's gonna be the end of your work. It's something brand new to experience. Instead of going into life hating everything and wanting everything just to end, you, my friend, should go in there with a positive attitude. There and say, yeah, new experience. If you can go in there like that, then there will be no problems from your old bud Gerson.
Huh. You know what, Gerson? I think I will do that.
Yeah, but you still have to fight me though.
No.
What am I gonna do with myself, man?
Alright, so I was working on that this morning, and people were asking me, yo, what's up, man, and all that other sort of stuff. That's what I was working on this morning, that little skit you just saw. Anyways, so today is going to be the review of Gerson, which, you know, funny enough, I might actually just whip up my experience with, what is it? Like, I might whip up my experience with the Super Spent 64. You know, because that's one of my favorite experiences as well. But today we're going to be talking about Gerson, right? And I'm going to be talking about the beginning of the fight, middle of the fight, ending of the fight, and then also, like, you know, but you guys know how all these reviews go. We got to go all the way back before the fight even happened and how I even knew about these guys, all right? So let's do that real quick. So before I even fought Gerson at all, I did notice, like, Gerson's existence and Mike's existence and Shadow Mental's existence, Roaring Knight's existence by doing research on who the secret bosses in Deltarune are. I was fully aware of who they were. I just wasn't fully aware of what their attacks were going to be like how their fight's going to be like and stuff. And I remember when I played through Chapter 4 again for the first time in my life, I didn't really worry about going after Mike. I didn't really worry about going after Gerson. I kind of just wanted to get the Chapter 4 experience and kind of dip. But after a while, like a long while, you know, a part of me went on this journey to kind of, you need some lines? All right, just shoot me the lines in Discord and I'll go ahead and fire them off for you. So go ahead and send me some lines. I'll go ahead and do that and, you know, stuff. Because I'm also going to be recording a lot today, too, so I might as well just do your lines and then also go off and record some other stuff, too. So I'll do both of those. I got you. Anyways, so I was saying, like, I didn't really care at the time, way back then, but later on, as you guys know, when I started doing, like, the secret bosses, when I beat Jevil, you know, and I beat Spampton Neo, you know, the secret boss fight version. Then I went to do the Snowgrave version of Spampton, and now it's like, okay, now Alan's going out of his way to do everything, so I might as well do, like, the other bosses, too. I might as well give, you know, the Roaring Knight attempts if I'm interested, or Gerson if I'm interested, which, to be honest, Gerson and Mike, for the most part, and I don't think I mentioned this in my review of Mike, but I wasn't interested in them all that much. But, you know, like I said, way later on down in life, y'all know what ended up happening. I ended up fighting them anyway, because my interest in them kind of sparked up after doing all the other ones. Now, fun fact, before I even did the Gerson fight, my brother Louie, when he was doing his Chapter 4 playthrough of Deltarune, my brother actually got all the pieces to the golden piano, and I'm talking way after me, because this is how me and my brother play Deltarune, right? It goes me first, because I'm doing the live stream that everyone's anticipating on it, right? I do my shit first, and then Louis will do his playthrough of Deltarune Chapter 4 after, so we don't spoil each other, because we don't have two separate rooms here, okay, where we can be like, okay, I'm in one room here, Louis in the other room, problem playing Deltarune Chapter 4 at the same time. Right? No, we share a room, so it's like, okay, I'm going to go first, and then when I beat it, you can take a stab, so that way you don't spoil me, and I won't spoil you, so, yeah, right? And it's like, okay, bet, that's how that works, right? So anyways, like I said, after my playthrough, which, again, I didn't do any of the secret boss at the time, Louis actually pulled up Gerson and actually semi-fought him, right? And after I found this information out, I was like, what? You did who? And I remember for weeks before I even did Gerson or even the Roaring Knight, I was like, bro, I might have to do Gerson, bro. This man Louis found Chapter 4 secret boss before I did, bro. He fought him before I did. Now keep in mind, I was aware of Gerson's secret boss fight way before Louis was, right? I noticed way before, because if you guys remember the ending of my Chapter 4 playthrough, I was like, yo, let's go fight the secret boss, because I thought you could fight the secret boss after the fact, which is just very important info, so bear witness to this, right? I thought after you defeat Titan, you end Chapter 4, I thought you can go back and fight Gerson. No, what ended up happening to me is I got locked out of the secret boss fight entirely, which forced me to redo the entire chapter up to that current point and get shit done. And to be honest with you, I was so fuming that I didn't even bother doing it. You know, that's why I was like, you know what? F Gerson, I won't even do him. Later down the line, I redid my playthroughs, you know, Roaring Knight and stuff, and Lord and behold, we did Gerson and stuff, you know, way later down the line. But you get it, right? And I remember, but back to what I was saying about Louis doing Gerson. I remember my brother did Gerson, but he didn't really necessarily beat Gerson. And I remember that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because as you know, like me, I love going out of my way and doing Deltarune secret bosses because they're so cool, they're interesting. They give you like more and more to the characters that you're going to be fighting up against, you know, like for example, like Spampton. You barely knew Spampton, you know, until you go and, you know, do a secret boss version a little bit to know a little bit more about him, or you did the Snowgrave version to learn more about him, you know. So it's like they give you options to go do those fucking things, and it's like, that's cool. I want to go do that. I want to explore those things. I want those experiences, and I want to be like, yes, I can be able to say, I did those. I did fight Gerson. I did fight Spampton. I did fight Jevil. I did fight freaking whoever you can name, you know. It's for the experience. And you guys know me, I love making like my experience videos, like little review videos and talk about little videos and stuff. So it's awesome that I get to do that. And it's like, since my brother didn't do it, right, I kind of wanted to go in and beat Gerson for revenge a little bit, right? Not necessarily like because he messed me up, he ruined my life, he ruined my day, like good old Jevil over there, far the fuck away from me, you know, because I got a restraining order on his bitch ass, right? Nah, it's because Louis told me, that same day I asked him when he said, did you beat Gerson? He said, no, I didn't beat Gerson. He was kind of hard, so I kind of just went to Titan, kind of finished the chapter. And I was like, bro, you had Gerson unlocked and you didn't? God. What the You didn't? Oh my God. You didn't defeat Gerson? You walked away? Yeah, man, because he's too hard. Because keep in mind, when my brother is playing Deltarune, he's kind of a casual with it. I mean, for the most part. He doesn't go after secret bosses. He doesn't really go after everything. He just enjoys what he plays for the moment, and then he's off, right? Don't worry, there's games where Louis goes above and beyond in, like, Xenoverse 2 and such, but he doesn't do that for Deltarune all that much, right? So, hearing that, I was like, you know what? Since Louis never beat Gerson, I'll go in there and try to do it for him. Now, I want to understand why Louis said, nah, fuck this fight, right? So, I'm like, okay. Because keep in mind, I've done Undying the Undying from Genocide Route of Undertale. I need to see what the hell he's talking about with Gerson being the G, the crazy one, the crazy, strong, battle-hardened warrior. Yeah. I need to do his laugh at least once in this video. There you go, you got his laugh. But anyways, so I decided to get on one day. I think it was like a day or two, maybe 3 after Mike at this point. And I said, you know what? I want to get Gerson out of the way. Actually, yeah, it wasn't even a day. It was like a day later, a day or two later. I decided to get on Deltarune Chapter 4 on my main file because I pretty much got on, by the way, fun fact, since I had to redo most of Chapter 4. I had a separate file for Mike, and then I did a new file for Gerson, the Wise, right? Well, not a new file, but basically, if you guys remember my Roaring Knight file, like when I redid Chapter 3's file, well, that Chapter 3 carried over to Chapter 4 when I started Chapter 4, so I have to kind of semi-redo the entire chapter in order to go up and do Gerson. So basically what I did was I did the entire chapter up to that point and basically said, you know what? It's time. Let us see what Gerson's all about. And I remember, before I even fought Gerson, I remember I was looking up videos, right, to see what I am up against, because I started doing that a little bit more now. So, dude, how many voice messages are you going to send, dog? I'm trying to make a video here, man. Go away. But, as I was saying, I got Nick spamming me with voice messages. I don't like being spammed in the middle of my stuff, man. But anyways, I was laying on my bed, I think before I even did it, or just looking at videos, looking at his moves, trying to dodge him, trying to at least get a general idea. Because, you know, I used to go into boss fights completely blind, and that's what would cost me, like, extra attempts and stuff. But, I mean, keep in mind, right, just because you watch the fight doesn't mean you still know how to react to the fight. You're just watching somebody else's perspective of the fight, not necessarily doing it yourself. So, I was watching it on my bed, and then after watching on my bed, I think I woke up that day. I said, okay, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? I got you. Let's go. Let's go ahead and do it. Right? And bro's locked in. Yes, I am locked in, right? So I went over to this, and keep in mind, right, it was the same day that I had to hear out for, like, my dad's new phone or whatever. So I couldn't even listen to the whole fight with Gerson with my headphones locked in with the... Oh my god! Okay, just ignore that. Ignore that. But anyways, I couldn't freaking play with the mic connected to the controller, so I couldn't, like, fully immerse into the fight. I kind of had to sit here like this and kind of hear it from, like, my headphones from this distance over here. That was a mistake right there, okay? Just ignore that little bit right there, okay? So I got in there. I said, let's do it. I have to hear, also on top of fighting Gerson, I have to hear up for my dad's package that's going to be coming in that needs to be signed, right? I was worried about that. And then listen to the pre-fight dialogue, so let's show you attempt number 1, right? When I begin to Gerson. I have my own video here, so no one else's playthrough at all. With fucking ads, okay. We're going to deal with goddamn ads. Bet. Awesome. Phenomenal. Love ads, bro. I love them so much on my own videos. At least I give you guys the ones that skip. Alright. So this was attempt number 1 on Gerson. Now, Gerson is completely different from other fights, right? I'm only annoyed with them when I'm doing, like, a review on my own videos and stuff. That's why I'm only annoyed at the ads. Anyway, so Gerson is a completely different warrior from usual, right? So when you fight Gerson, you're thinking, okay, he's going to be like every secret boss where I can basically, or almost every secret boss, because some secret boss fights you can only fight with Chris and stuff, and this one is only Susie, right? So you're thinking, okay, if I get low, I'll just use items. No, that is not how this fight works. You actually cannot use a single item, and I know I explain it in my video here, but I just want to show you guys, like, you can't use any items, because if you use items, Gerson will steal it and say, hey, I'm not using any items. That's effing cheating. So I'm going to steal all of your items, so that way you can't have your item slot anymore, so you can't use items, right? So what you need to do is you need to use your magic and your attack, right? Because when you use your magic and attack, Gerson, whenever you hit him, will spark little stars, which I will show you.
You can use any items. You can use Rude Buster.
Which, if you use Rude Buster on Gerson, you'll fire it at Gerson, he'll hit it back at you, and then you'll hit it back at him, and so you can get him to get mercy stars, right?
Okay healing, which does it,
which, by the way, when you use okay healing throughout the fight, the TP for it does lower, so that's interesting as well, right?
Which is 14.
Which I might show you the one where I actually won, right? So as you see those little stars and he, like, kind of dodged your attack, this fight is based on mercy stars. So what you're going to have to do throughout the entire fight is you're going to have to either attack him, which gives you tons of TP. You're going to have to heal yourself with the OK heal. That's the only way you can heal yourself in this fight is OK heal. And that's about it. That can give him stars. Or, actually, no, you can also Rude Buster him as well to also gain Mercy Stars. And when you gain these Mercy Stars, it will add up to his Mercy total. And basically, you have to kind of survive until he hits up his final move, and then you kind of win the fight, right? But also try your best not to take any damage and all that other sort of shit. Right? It's a whole fucking thing. Now, I did this probably without Rude Buster, but a lot of people tell me just to... And I also did research on, like, Deltarune wikis, and I was like, okay, how do I battle Gerson? People are just saying, yo, just spam fucking attack and heal when you can, and you'll win this fight. And also, the fight is sort of scripted, so it's more scripted than, like, you know, Sand from Undertale and other fights that you probably have seen before, but you get it, okay? You get it, all right? And that's literally, like, kind of like the whole fight in a nutshell. And there was a couple of attempts, like 5, 6, 7, 8 different attempts before I finally finished it, which I'm going to show you the attempt that we actually won on, so, slash the winning attempt, okay? And keep in mind, right, his moves are really hard to dodge, and I'll talk about them as we, like, kind of watch over the stuff. Oh, what the hell? Oh. No, stop. Alright, and I was getting pissed. I was like, dude, okay, Gerson, you need to chill out, bro. And now this is what Louis, since, keep in mind, right, Louis has never played Undertale, so this arrow stuff, this was the first time my brother is dealing with the arrows. Now, the arrows is how Undyne fights. She uses arrows that you have to, like, hit with your spear / your weapon of choice to reflect the arrows to make sure they don't hit you. And that's kind of the challenge, right? Now, as you can see, it starts slow, but then it gets immediately fast. Now, think of somebody who's never played Deltarune or Undertale before and is dealing with that for the first time. They're going to flip out. They're going to wonder what the F is this type of movement, right? Because Gerson, in a nutshell, right, is kind of like an evolved... Don't you have to make her follow you through the heart? Through the heat? There are some moves where you do become a green little heart that you have to dodge his attacks on, yes, if that's what your question was. But anyways, as I was saying, right, for someone like Louis that's never seen that before or who's never dealt with that before, Gerson is kind of like that, but like kind of like a semi-evolved different take on Undyne's strategy of battle a little bit. But Gerson adds on to it, and you're going to see how in a sec, right? So I'm trying to hit Gerson, try not to take so much damage, you know, and then here comes the spear, like the little arrows coming in ultra fast over here. Yep, I'm trying my best to dodge them all. Yeah, see, I'm getting upset a little bit. But, you know, I'm trying to also keep it in because it was 6 in the morning at this time. Now you're like, okay, this doesn't look bad, but then it turns into a fucking hexagon. And you're sitting there wondering, okay, Undyne the Undying and regular Undyne did not have this. Like, at all. Like, the fucking, the big old square becoming a hexagon where you have, like 8 areas to dodge instead of 4. Now, keep in mind, I'm using D-pad, no analog stick to deal with this, right? Because my analog stick has a lot of drift. So, what I'm trying to do with this, I'm trying to push the D-pad in, like, certain directions. Like, okay, up to the left, up to the right, up, down right, down left, down, up. Yeah, it's a whole fucking thing. And it's crazy. Here, and I remember I effed up a lot on that, too.
I might just save that.
And also I'm saving up my TP so I can do OK heal when I need it, right?
Yeah.
Now the hammer, basically this gets a little faster and the hammer just kind of whacks you a little bit, and Gerson will come in and do a rush attack as well, like a little, like try to hit you with this little mallet and the little thing. It's kind of crazy. I remember I barely dodged that, too.
I do have max.
And then if you use OK heal, which I know Susie's healing is not the best, but still, it's goated. It's goated in this fight.
Here for 202.
And again, remember, healing, attacking, Rude Buster, if you successfully hit back the Rude Buster from after Gerson reflects it back at you, back at Gerson, will give you Mercy Stars as well. So healing, normal attacking, Rude Buster. Defending or items does not give you jack shit. So keep that in mind. Now, you also have this move where Gerson becomes this kind of turtle-like state and moves around the stage with little stars coming out. And also, like, he will come down on you with stars that boom, coming all over the place, you know what I'm saying, right? He will have that and stuff, which it was pretty hard to dodge. I won't lie. And keep in mind, again, my brother has never dealt with Undyne the Undying or just regular Undyne before. So, I can understand why he fucked up and, you know, said, I'm not doing this. You know, I completely get it. Now, this hammer move was easily one of the worst things for me because keep in mind, trying to dodge a sideways battle box on top of many hundreds upon hundreds of smaller than completely, like, bigger and bigger axes or hammers are coming your way, and you have barely any time to dodge. You're just trying to dodge the best of your ability, right?
Where the fuck do I move, man?
Yeah, and I remember I was getting pissed because it's like, dude, where the hell do I move, you know? And I gotta keep this 34 HP off this shit. And then here we go with this, right? We're back with the hexagon, but then you're gonna see something wild come up. Here we go. Right? After all this, after this one, I think. I did use OK heal because I was scared. I was really scared, actually. Now, check this out, right? After we do this, this is why I say the hexagon part is probably the hardest thing, because keep in mind, right, I am horrible at the bullet patterns with the arrows, and I know this because if you guys remember my Undertale Genocide route review, where I reviewed the entire Genocide route in one video, I was literally getting sick from doing, like, Undying, the Undying's, like, boss fight. Like, she legit, like, Undying the Undying made me feel, like, legit ill inside. The fight did not make me feel good. And it took me, like, over an hour or two just to beat her specifically. Which, if you keep in mind, my first Genocide route video is 5 hours. So 2 hours out of the 5 hours is Undying the Undying attempts over and over and over and over again. So you can kind of get the idea that I really hate, like, Undying's fucking, like, bullet patterns and how she does her fighting, and I hate the fuck out of it. So realizing Gerson has pretty much the same thing but a little bit better and a little bit different on the top of that really didn't make me feel like, oh, this fight's going to be harder. And keep in mind, I did say some BS in this video when I said Gerson's harder than the Knight. Gerson's harder than, or the Roaring Knight, maybe Gerson's harder than Undying the Undying. No, he is not. He is not harder than Undying the Undying from Undertale. He is not harder than the Roaring Knight. The Roaring Knight, by far, bar none, is still the hardest boss fight in Deltarune. That is just factual information. I think everybody can unanimously agree with that statement, okay? I thought for a second, because of how many times I was fucking up this fight, that it was going to be as bad, but no, it was nowhere near as bad, and I just want to point that out because I did say that in the gameplay video, and I don't want to, like, spread misinformation, because nope, Gerson is not as bad. I even remember doing some Google research, and a lot of people leave it on Google, and even Google said too, on top of that, not only just Redditors and stuff, but Google was also saying, no, Gerson is not harder than the Roaring Knight. The Roaring Knight is way more punishing than, you know, than Gerson is. And plus, Gerson's fight is kind of scripted, so after a while, you will get it, and all the moves are the exact same each time you die, so you'll slowly get better and better as the fight goes on, and, you know, you'll get to do that and all that other sort of stuff. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So Gerson starts throwing these Koopa Troopa turtle shells, which honestly look really identical to Mario's, I'm going to be honest, in Super Mario World or something. So basically, these turtle shells bounce, as you can see, and not only you have to start dodging arrows, but you have to start dodging literal turtle shells from each respective side, and they start berating you from more than just one side, which you're going to see here in a second as well. See, check this out. All four sides, and then you have the arrows, bounce that up again. All four arrows, bounce that up again. Yep, arrows, yep. And it was just like, what in the actual fuck? Just a little bit from that move alone. I remember, I think I died on that move a little bit. And also, keep in mind, I'm trying to keep my TP up so I can at least get one heal. And I think this was the ending a little bit. No, the ending's a little different from that. And then you have to dodge, like, Gerson's little attack here where the screen goes white. Right there. Which I think this was, like, midpoint of the fight, actually. Not the beginning, but you get it. A little bit. Then you see this where Gerson goes freaking flying over here like a dang Super Saiyan. Where you have to dodge. I wonder, I don't know exactly the part where Louis died, but I can see, like, why Louis just completely didn't do this. But, like I said, right, it gets a little bit harder, it gets a little hectic. I think Gerson's talking about wanting to end it a little bit. Or no, he's trying to throw the hammers. The hammers again. Keep in mind, again, I hate the fucking hammers. And the hammers are much faster in the later half of the fight, too, on top of that. So they're not the same speed. At least it feels like that to me. Yeah, and I'm getting scared because I'm only at 34 HP. I was thinking about doing Rude Buster, but a part of me was like, I didn't want to waste my TP if I needed a healing opportunity to do anything. Now, as you can see, we have the turtle shell that bounces from side to side to side. Then we got to do it again and make sure you don't die in this whole process with the arrows and stuff. It's honestly... And yes, I did get to heal again, which is nice. And Susie's like, I choose eternity to keep fighting and stuff, and it's a whole thing. But, because also, keep in mind, Gerson's also the whole fight trying to teach Susan a lesson.
Oh.
And I just have to keep in, by the way, the theme song for this, like, Gerson's actual theme song is really good. I just want to say this. Now, we're at the last bit. Look at how these arrows start reacting to you, dog. Look at this.
Oh my fuck.
Well, one of his last attacks. Now, I thank God I healed because, what is it? Now we get more serious into each attack. Now, honestly, like, trying to battle, like, all 4 of those turtle shells at the same time is way harder than it just looks. My God, it's like, and keep in mind as well, I'm really bad at balancing multiple different things at different times. Like, for example, I am not good at multitasking, and this fight actually asks you to multitask, like, a lot, right? Because with, like I said, the multiple arrows going in multiple different directions, the freaking turtle shells, like, once you deflect them once, they bounce up and try to come at you again from that same angle, and then you also have to try to go after another one, coming after a different angle on top of that. So it's like, think about it like that, right? Where you're going from top angle to bottom right to maybe onto the top right or top left, and you have to kind of keep bouncing the turtle shells, and they're also going for different angles or different spots. It's, oh God, it was hectic, and I'm not good at all that. I mean, I'm pretty good at it because of how many attempts I did here, but that was a whole thing. And then you have the Gerson, you know, what is it? The Gerson circle, Toby Fox's favorite little thing, and then that was about it. I actually beat it, and then, you know, I got a little excited.
Oh my fuck.
And keep in mind, I was, again, like, a little bit stressed out by doing it, like, just doing the fight in general, because of course I was. But, again, as you can see, like, it's not like, my stress isn't really being shown here in this moment. It's kind of more like, hey, my brain is just trying to focus, it's just trying to get it done so we can kind of move on. And also, one of the reasons why I wanted to do Gerson, just so I could kind of, like, have, like, this feeling of, like, okay, you don't have, like, regular Deltarune to kind of worry about now until whenever Toby Fox kind of releases Chapter 5, you know, next year. So it's like, you have the rest of this year off, buddy. You freaking did it. You did it. I mean, I still have to go back into Chapter 4 later on anyway to kind of beat Titan again, so I can just, like, have a file completed again, because I still haven't done that yet, but because I've been kind of lazy, been kind of the feeling that you're done. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that way I can have that feeling too, where it's like, okay, you're actually done now. You've done all the bosses, like all the secret bosses up to this very point. You're good. You did them all. There's nothing for you to kind of worry about or come back to, or just having to replay a Chapter 4 or whatever. It's a whole thing, unless there is, and honestly, it is one of the best feelings in the world, because a part of me was like, damn, I feel like really good, you know, like, just not having anything to worry about, like, after doing, like, again, spammed in, after doing, like, you know, secret boss fight, spammed in, Jevil, you know, the Shadow Mantle, the Roaring Knight, and now it's like Gerson, like all those guys, which, by the way, that's way more than 4 secret bosses, by the way. You got Jevil, Spampton, or Spampton Neo, I should say, actually. Then you got, like, Shadow Mantle, then you got Roaring Knight, and now it's Gerson. That's like 5 whole secret bosses, well, 6 if you want to include Mike, but if you want to really go there, 6 secret bosses all defeated. And they're all just in 4 chapters, so I'm wondering what Chapter 5 has. Is Chapter 5 going to have 2 secret bosses? Is Chapter 6 going to have 2 secret bosses? Is Chapter 7 going to have a couple of secret bosses or something? Because it's about to be freaking wild when we get there, probably in a couple of years from now. But, yeah, that's my Gerson review, man. Maybe more. Who knows? I don't know what Toby Fox has up. All I know is that Toby Fox's friend now, like, low-key played the early version of Chapter 5, and they were saying, I want more. I want more. Chapter 5 is this good. I want more Deltarune. So, that's interesting to know. But anyways, yeah, that's my Gerson review. I know it isn't as long as the other ones. Doesn't need to be. It's about 30 minutes. That's good enough for me. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share the video with your friends. And I don't know what's next, to be honest. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go do all that voice stuff. I need to just do that, get it out of the way. Also, one more little baby thing, other than maybe go do my voice stuff and stuff, is I started doing my Undertale Rage / Funny Moment comps because I'm getting bored of New Super Mario Brothers. So maybe watch out for that when that comes up. Anyways, talk to y'all later. We'll do this again sometime. I don't know if I'll come back. If I do come back, it might be like an Undertale Sans fight, something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But let me go scream at a fucking mic for 30 minutes for some lines and stuff. And yeah, peace. Have a good day, y'all.